Sea turtles are large, air-breathing reptiles that inhabit tropical and subtropical seas throughout the world. Their shells consist of an upper part and a lower section. Hard scales cover all but the leatherback, and the number and arrangement of these scutes can be used to determine the species. Sea turtles come in many different sizes, shapes, and colors. The olive ridley is usually less than 100 pounds, while the leatherback typically ranges from 650 to 1,300 pounds. The upper shell, or carapace, of each sea turtle species ranges in length, color, shape, and arrangement of scales. Sea turtles do not have teeth, but their jaws have modified beaks suited to their particular diet. They do not have visible ears but have eardrums covered by skin. They hear best at low frequencies, and their sense of smell is excellent. Their vision underwater is good, but they are nearsighted out of water. Their streamlined bodies and large flippers make them remarkably adapted to life at sea. However, sea turtles maintain close ties to the land. Females must come ashore to lay their eggs in the sand, therefore, all sea turtles begin their lives as tiny hatchlings on land. Research on marine turtles has uncovered many facts about these ancient creatures. Most of this research has been focused on nesting females and hatchlings emerging from the nest, largely because they are the easiest to find and study. Thousands of sea turtles around the world have been tagged to help collect information about their growth rates, reproductive cycles, and migration routes. After decades of studying sea turtles, much has been learned. However, many mysteries still remain. Sea turtles and humans. Sea turtles have long fascinated people, and have figured prominently in the mythology and folklore of many cultures. In the Mosquito Cays off the eastern coast of Nicaragua, the story of a kind turtle mother still lingers. Unfortunately, the spiritual significance of sea turtles has not saved them from being exploited for both food and for profit. Millions of sea turtles once roamed the Earth's oceans, but now only a fraction remain. Reproduction. While reproductive behaviors and timing vary among populations and species, a general pattern is shared among all sea turtles. All are egg layers, and females must come ashore to bury their eggs in sandy environments. Except for Lepidosceles, which is a nesting cycle of 1-3 years, females nest only every 3rd or 4th year. However, they often nest multiple times during a nesting season. While most species usually have 2 to 4 egg-laying events per nesting season, the loggerhead has up to 7. The female emerges from the surf at night, ponderously crawls to sandy areas above the high tide line, and digs a nest. The nest or egg chamber is dug exclusively with the hind limbs, the tail is positioned over the center of the nest opening, and eggs are deposited. The nest is then filled in with sand, and the female returns to the sea. Each nest is created 12 to 14 days apart, and clutch size varies among species and populations. About 100 eggs per nesting event are common. Eggs incubate for about 50 to 60 days. Development is temperature dependent, so a warmer nest brings about an earlier hatching. Within a given nest, hatching is nearly synchronous. Because of the depth of the nest, emergence requires that several hatchlings dig upward together. Hatchlings typically emerge from the ground at night, and can instinctively recognize the horizon over the open ocean, although they can be confused by artificial lighting behind or along the beach. There is evidence that female loggerheads imprint on the magnetic field signature of the beach as hatchlings and use Earth's magnetic field to navigate back to the same beach as adults to lay eggs of their own. Once in the surf, the hatchlings swim outward into the open ocean, and those of most species enter the gigantic oceanic gyres. The young sea turtles are pelagic, likely for 5 to 10 years, before returning to warm nearshore waters to continue their growth. Growth and development. Researchers do not yet know how long baby turtles spend in the open sea, or exactly where they go. It is theorized that they spend their earliest, most vulnerable years floating around the sea in giant beds of sargasso weeds, where they do little more than eat and grow. Once turtles reach a dinner plate size, they appear at feeding grounds in nearshore waters. They grow slowly, and take between 15 and 50 years to reach reproductive maturity, depending on the species. There is no way to determine the age of a sea turtle from its physical appearance. It is theorized that some species can live over 100 years. Where they live? Green turtles are found worldwide primarily in subtropical and temperate regions of the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Oceans, and in the Mediterranean Sea. In U.S. Atlantic and Gulf of Mexico waters, green turtles are found in inshore and nearshore waters from Texas to Maine, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico. Important feeding areas in Florida include the Indian River Lagoon, the Florida Keys Florida Bay, the Dry Tortugas, Homosassa, Crystal River, Cedar Key, and St. Joseph Bay. In the eastern North Pacific, green turtles have been sighted as far north as southern Alaska, but most commonly occur from southern California to northwestern Mexico. Elsewhere in the U.S. Pacific, green turtles occur in Hawaii, American Samoa, Guam, and the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands. Status of the species. The earliest known sea turtle fossils are about 150 million years old. In groups too numerous to count, they once navigated throughout the world's oceans. But in just the past 100 years, demand for turtle meat, eggs, skin, and colorful shells has dwindled their populations. Destruction of feeding and nesting habitats, and pollution of the world's oceans are all taking a serious toll on remaining sea turtle populations. Many breeding populations have already become extinct, and entire species are being wiped out. There could be a time in the near future when sea turtles are just an oddity found only in aquariums and natural history museums, unless action is taken today. Green, leatherback, and hawksbill sea turtles are classified as endangered in the United States under the Endangered Species Act, while the loggerhead and olive ridley sea turtles are listed as threatened. Internationally, green and loggerhead sea turtles are listed as endangered by the International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources, while hawksbill and Kemp's ridley sea turtles are listed as critically endangered, olive ridley sea turtles are listed as endangered, and leatherback sea turtles are listed as vulnerable. Briefly, details about sea turtles. Description: sea turtles are characterized by long, streamlined shells. Depending on the species, sea turtles' color range can be olive green, yellow, greenish-brown, reddish-brown, or black. Limbs and flippers are adapted for swimming. Adult male and female sea turtles are equal in size. On male sea turtles, the tail may extend beyond the hind flippers. The claws on the fore flippers of sea turtle males are elongated and curved, which may help them grasp a female's shell during mating. Size. Most sea turtles are 53 to 114 centimeters. The largest species, the leatherback, can reach 1.2 to 1.9 meters. 2.9 meters was the largest leatherback recorded. Significant differences in size are not exhibited between the sexes. Weight: 27 to 186 kilograms for smaller species. Leatherbacks can weigh 200 to 660 kilogram, with reported weights up to 870 kilogram. Diet: sea turtles may be carnivorous, herbivorous, or omnivorous. Sexual maturity: as early as 3 years in hawksbills, to 12 to 30 years in loggerheads, and 20 to 50 years in green sea turtles. Lifespan: up to 80 years. Few facts about sea turtles. First one, most scientists recognize 8 species of these marine reptiles. Experts can identify each by the number and pattern of horny plates on the carapace top shell. Second one, a leatherback turtle is covered with leathery skin, not horny plates like other sea turtles. It is the only marine turtle whose backbone is not attached to the inside of its shell. Third one, sea turtles are found in tropical and temperate seas throughout the world. Adults of most species inhabit shallow coastal waters. Some species migrate great distances from winter feeding grounds to summer nesting areas. Fourth one, typically, the only time sea turtles leave the sea is when females haul out to lay eggs. On some uninhabited, or sparsely inhabited beaches, turtles of either sex have been observed basking on land. Fifth one, once sexually mature, female sea turtles will typically return to the beach area from which they originally hatched. Season after season, the females ascend their ancestral beach to deposit their own clutch. A female turtle digs a pit in the sand using her hind flippers and deposits dozens of eggs the size of ping-pong balls. These eggs then incubate beneath the sand from roughly 1.5 to 2.5 months, at the end of which time the eggs hatch in approximate unison. The newly hatched turtles attempting to scramble to the surface, down the beach, and past the shoreline, with the survivors continuing the cycle of birth, growth, and return. Sixth one, during the first year after hatching, many species of sea turtles are rarely seen. This first year is known as the lost year. Researchers generally agree that most hatchlings spend their first few years living an oceanic existence, before appearing in coastal areas. Although the migratory patterns of the young turtles during the first year has long been a puzzle, most researchers believe that they are prevailing surface currents, situating themselves in floating seaweed, where they can find food. Seventh one, diets vary greatly among sea turtle species. Green and black sea turtles feed on seagrasses and algae. Loggerheads and ridley's strong jaws can crush crabs, shrimps, and mollusks. Leatherbacks prey only on jellyfish and other soft-bodied animals. 8.1. The green sea turtle gets its name from the color of its body fat. NINTH1. A sea turtle cannot retract its limbs, head or neck under its shell like a land turtle. The shell adaptations necessary for retractile limbs would impede rapid swimming. TNTH1. Sea turtles' long, paddle-like flippers are adapted to locomotion in the water. Sea turtles are strong swimmers and divers. Next one, green sea turtles can stay underwater for as long as 5 hours. Their heart rate slows to conserve oxygen, 9 minutes may elapse between heartbeats. Next one, all 8 sea turtle species are listed as either endangered or threatened. Despite several management measures to preserve sea turtles, their future is still in question, due to a number of natural and human-induced factors. So, today we are talking about sea turtles. Thanks for watching, subscribe for more videos.